This morning, Steph and I received a joint message in our Facebook inbox from one of our close friends asking, so do you guys think all this North Korea nuclear talk is business as usual, or is there a difference to this jumbled malarkey this time around? Are you one of those people that is concerned that your favorite bias might be in danger because of possible attack from North Korea? Are you gravely worried that one of your favorite K-pop groups could be in danger because of the ramping up of military presence around the Korean peninsula? Do you feel like your favorite Korean drama star is in danger because Maki's smelling the flowers? How they smell, little girls? For those of you that might be new to our channel, welcome to the Hallyu Back YouTube channel, where we talk about K-pop, Korean dramas, life in Korea, and pretty much anything related to Korea at all. North Korea has been in the news quite a bit in the last several days. Mike Pence, is that his name? The Vice President of the United States? The current Vice President of the United States is in Seoul right now, or in Korea, or was in Korea yesterday. He visited the DMZ, I think, 2 days ago, and he made some remarks that startle people or make people worry that North Korea is going to attack South Korea, or that the United States is going to attack North Korea. Look, if I have to be completely honest with you, this is a situation that personally I am all too familiar with, but if you didn't live in Asia, or you didn't live in Korea, or you've never been to Asia, or say for instance you're an American and you've never been outside the United States other than to maybe Canada, it looks very different to you than it would to me. Truthfully, Americans don't really care that much about Korea. It's true. Other than people who like K-pop music, when it comes to politics, people just don't really understand fully what I feel is the truth. The truth here is there's never going to be a war with North Korea. Like, it's not ever going to happen. There's a couple of main reasons for this, but the most clear reason, and you can get behind this thinking if you really just consider it for a moment, North Korea, besides the fact that they have a standing army of over 1 million, doesn't really have that many resources to conduct a long-term war. They launched a missile, or they tried to launch a missile a couple days ago, and it fizzled. Isn't that exactly what happened? They don't even really have the firepower to sustain anything over a long period of time if there was to be a war, because wars are fought over long periods of time, not an attack like we just dropped the bomb the United States did in Afghanistan. We dropped one bomb. It seemed very pointless to me personally, but it doesn't seem pointless to some people. Some people are like, yeah, let's get them over there. But I think we have to stop all the war. We also launched 50 missiles or 59 missiles into Syria recently. We have stockpiles of hundreds of thousands of missiles in this country. I'm so glad that we don't use them that much. We used them in Syria, we used 50 of them. I thought that was completely unnecessary, but some people think that this is a good idea. And some of the reasoning behind the military using the missiles really has to do with continuing to build the economy so they can make more missiles, and has so much less to do with the safety of our country. Because if you look outside, there's no war here. It's perfectly peaceful. Is that coming in? Look at that blue sky. There's not a single missile anywhere. There hasn't been since I moved in here. Putting myself in the shoes of people in Seoul, for instance, because there's literally 20 million people living in Seoul and in the surrounding cities of Seoul. It's so many people. And Seoul is so close to North Korea. It is literally 29 miles from the North Korean border to the center of Seoul. 29 miles. You could drive there if there was a highway direct in about 20 minutes. From the center of Seoul to the border of North Korea, you could drive there in 20 minutes if there was a highway that went directly to the border, the DMZ. It is so close that people who haven't been there have no clue the destruction that North Korea could do. They could topple Seoul in an instant if they wanted to. So the question becomes, why haven't they? Why are we constantly talking about a possible war with North Korea, South Korea's possible war with North Korea again and again, and then it goes out of the news for 6 or 9 months, and then they ramp up the rhetoric back again. The fact that there are Navy ships, United States ships, sailing into the Sea of Japan, or the East Sea as Koreans call it, the water, the body of water in between Japan and Korea, and then the water on the other side. I believe that there's going to be Navy ship stations on both sides, or at least there are Korean Navy ships on both sides. Just the fact that we are sailing ships up there makes it seem like there is something so much more likely to happen than normal, when in fact, no one is going to attack anyone else. It's not going to happen. How do I express enough that the people who live over in Seoul are sure of this? I mean, it feels a little bit different, but the reason why it feels different this time is because we have a new president who seems to be a little bit more belligerent. Obama was very careful about the way he spoke, and he wanted to present the fact that we're trying to maintain a stable society throughout the world. I think Trump and his idea of how he should just tell you what's going on is a little bit more direct, and it's a little bit more unstable feeling. Even though the climate, the actual climate hasn't changed, just because of the way he talks, it makes it feel a lot more reckless. If North Korea was going to attack Seoul, why haven't they already? What are they waiting for? They're going to do it next week? No, I mean, they're not going to do it next week. They would have done it last week. They're going to do it next month. Do you think that they're waiting to build up their nuclear arsenal so they can do it in 2 years? You know, I mean, if you really think about the logistics of when would they attack, if they were really planning to do it, they're going to do it next year. They're going to do it in 2 years. Well, no, they're not going to do it in 2 years because they haven't done it yet. So they're going to do it in 3 years? No, they're not going to. So they're about to attack now that maybe it's being talked about on CNN and the New York Times? No, I don't think anything has changed at all. And I think the people who live over in Seoul are so much more concerned with other things that are going on in the country. Like, for instance, there is a new presidential election happening in South Korea next month. And this is a really big deal for Korea. They're really concerned about getting the right guy in there. And they got two guys going against each other. One is a tech mogul and one is a guy who actually really does seem to care about the future of South Korea. This is way more important for South Koreans, for Koreans that live in Seoul and live around the country in South Korea, than anything that's going on or might go on with Kim Jong-un and the government in Pyongyang. They don't really have influence other than, ooh, let's fire off another missile. Let's see if we can keep ourselves in the news so that way we can get more food supplies given to us from China, from the United States, from any country that's willing to actually donate supplies. Because North Korea doesn't have any natural resources. They really only have one ally, that's China. They don't really have much. So to think that they would actually be serious about starting a war is, it's silly, it's nonsensical, it's really nothing to worry about. But if you didn't go over there and you didn't see how busy South Koreans are in their daily life and the other things that they're actually concerned about, North Korea is way down on the list, and you're never gonna really understand that. And if you're one of those people that thinks that North Korea is a major threat, then you probably aren't watching this video anyways. If you've made it this far in the video, I really just want to express the fact that it's safer in this world than I think most of us realize. We actually live in a very safe society at the moment. It's safer now than maybe it's ever been in the history of human existence. And in some ways it doesn't feel that way, but that is actually the truth. And I think we as humans don't necessarily want to be told the truth. Like, we actually like being fed lies. For some reason, I don't know if it's biological, if it serves us some evolutionary purpose, but we are more comfortable when, for instance, governments tell us things, whether it's true or not, than when we actually find out the truth some other way, but it didn't come from an official source. And this is something that I've always been working on myself. Like, how do I find the truth for myself, regardless of what I'm being told on TV? I like the fact that I can at least go on and make a video that some of you are going to watch, and I have some deep-rooted experience living over in Korea and having interacted with so many Koreans. Those people over there know, I mean, most of them know that this is not a serious situation any more than it ever was before. And unfortunately, there are still two Koreas. Eventually, those two Koreas might become one. But there's people in South Korea that really don't want it because it'll just economically cripple South Korea in the short term, even though in the long term, it does seem to be the solution. Comments down below if you're concerned about this. If this video helped you understand perspective at all, what your parents are thinking, what you read in the news. Comment anything that you think could be helpful in order for us to kind of get over this hurdle of, oh my God, North Korea is going to attack, and oh my God, it's so scary. So many of you want to travel to South Korea and you're nervous that there might be heightened tensions. It's just the news trying to get more clicks. I mean, I really think this. So I just wanted to explain my thoughts, and I hope that this helps in some way. Thank you guys for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Click the like button on this video, and we'll see you next time. That's it. I'm out of here. Hasta luego. I also don't want to rule out the fact that it's actually a possibility that we should at least consider the United States attacking North Korea. I forgot to mention that in the video earlier today. On a bike ride.